Welcome back, Yappinators. Are you ready for another episode of Yap? In this episode, we are going to talk about Syndi's streak of bad luck and how it has followed her for years and years. And we're also going to get a little update on Chanel's pets. Enjoy. Hello, Syndi.
Hi.
Look at your beautiful couch.
Mm-hmm.
Velvet.
It is velvet.
And these seat cushions, we talked about this before. These seat cushions are huge.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, while I'm sitting here, my ankle goes numb.
Mm-hmm.
My pinky toe hurts. The inner part of my thigh
It's
right
because
here.
we're not sitting on them the way they're meant to be sat.
It's not.
Yeah.
The way it's meant to.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we end every podcast practically like this.
And I hate editing. I hate editing that. I look at myself and I know nobody looks at me as much as I look at me.
Yeah, and you're the only one that really notices.
Because I spend so much time editing those clips. There has to be a way to do it faster.
Clip editing?
Yeah. But also, this is episode 2 of the Yap session.
Yeah.
This is what I'm telling you. We just jump right into it.
That's who we are.
It is who we are. But actually, I wonder, because I remember I used to listen to a podcast like with my best friend's husband. Me, her, and him. We were doing a road trip or something. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about how we like true crime podcasts. And I tried to show him, I think it was Crime Junkie at the time. Mm-hmm. And, I think it was My Favorite Murder. He liked listening to Crime Junkie. And we listened to My Favorite Murder next. And he's like, the only reason why I don't like My Favorite Murder is because they have an entire section where they yap about nothing related to the crime. It's like you get maybe like 20 to 30 minutes into the episode
and then they actually start,
right? So I wonder what people prefer. Like, are you do you listen to a lot of podcasts?
I listen to a lot of long YouTube videos, which are sometimes podcasts. Sometimes
it's essentially the same
podcast,
thing, though.
But it is a podcast.
Yeah, I feel like the YouTube to like podcast thing, it's like
they're the same
combining. Yeah,
mostly
like definitely, like, for example, our content with our podcast is like there's certain things that you get, especially when you're like pointing to the screen and saying something, or if my cat wants to make an appearance. Those are things that you can see and you don't hear.
Yeah.
But I feel like the way we do it, you get about the same out of it as you do when you are listening and not watching, or watching and
either
listening.
or.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I see what you mean though, because there's like, I like to watch like people who play games, and I'm like, you can listen, sure, but you need to watch. Like if you're watching someone do a game playthrough, you have to be watching.
And people out there, let us know if you want us to play some games on here, because we were talking about
Chanel wants it.
I want it because it would be fun, but honestly, we should probably just put it on my YouTube channel, huh?
You should be on your YouTube channel.
Because that just makes more sense.
That makes way more sense.
Because we're like, if we're doing a podcast, it doesn't make sense to play video games. Because we can't release it on, the podcasting platforms because it's going to be nonsense.
And
oh
here's the thing, though, too. I feel like I like to think of like, or at least what I aspire for us to get to is kind of like Good Mythical Morning.
Yeah.
Like with Rhett and Link. I see that for me. That's where I would like us to go, and they kind of have multiple channels where they try different things, where it's like I didn't even realize that Mythical Kitchen was a spin-off from like, it's a part of that franchise, where it's like that solely has nothing to do with what they do. Like Rhett and Link aren't even on it. It's somebody completely different, and he has his whole own kind of channel. I could see that being our thing. I also feel like a lot of people who are on YouTube, they have multiple different channels as well, where I know a lot of people, for like streamers or whatnot, who have podcasts, but the podcast is separate from their like own streaming channel. They have like gaming channels as well, where they take clips where they play games. Like there's ways to expand upon, where this is just a podcast. We just be podcasting, but then like your YouTube channel can be where we can expand on gaming, and if we find that gaming together is fun, maybe we make a gaming channel, or it's just an extra playlist on your channel where it's like gaming with Syndi and Chanel. Where Syndi only makes a guest appearance when we play games together.
And that would work.
It'd be fun.
Might have to do that.
I got a new computer for... Speaking of computers, I feel like me and technology don't go together.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is, because it's never been like me and technology have never gone together, but this past like week and some has really proven to me that me and technology don't go together.
Yeah.
And you've already heard the story, but essentially what happened was I bought a new PC computer because my Mac was never supposed to be a Mac that was an everyday Mac. I bought that as a graduation gift for myself after I graduated in 2018, and I had no idea at the time that I was going to actually follow through with grad school.
Yeah.
At the time, me going to grad school was like what I would say to my parents to appease them. And then I actually did well on the test and I actually got in, and I'm like, and then, people I was talking to were like, you're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to be a doctor.
I'll show you.
Yeah. Being stubborn is overrated.
It is.
Anyway, so my Mac computer did not have the capacity to keep up with like all the editing, where I tried to make clips and it would take, for every like 1 minute clip, it would take between 2 to 3 minutes to download on my computer.
Yeah.
Now with this PC, it takes me less than 30 seconds. But anyway, we were talking about getting a new, like that I should get a new computer that had the appropriate specs. And I wanted to get a Mac solely from the purpose of like, I have all Mac stuff, everything's connected, but I've come to the terms of the fact that like PCs are cheaper. I can game more with a PC, and if I still want things to be connected, I can work to get an iPad. So I got a PC, great, dandy, whatever. And it's just like a series of unfortunate events because I don't understand computers. I thought the wrong computer got sent to me. And I went through this whole thing of contacting Best Buy. Best Buy didn't want to help me, whether it was corporate or in person. And all I got to say is screw Best Buy. I don't recommend buying any sort of computer from Best Buy.
Yeah.
Literally just go through the main provider.
The manufacturer.
The manufacturer. Because Best Buy, they're the middleman. They're not going to help you. So just go through the manufacturer, get your computer. But while I digress, because I got a refurbished computer, which I'm now realizing is a mistake in itself, I've learned something called partitioning, where I thought my computer had like 512 gigabytes of storage, when the entire time there's a 1 terabyte SSD. Just whoever had my computer before decided to partition. So I only seemingly had access to 512, and the other 512 was lost in the void that is my laptop. And that still doesn't make sense to me, because that laptop is right there. Where do you put another 512 gigabytes?
I don't know.
So all I say is technology.
Technology. And they had you running all over town, girl.
All over town.
All over town.
Yeah. Without giving away where I'm at, I drove 1 hour from one location. I drove like 5 minutes to one location because it was by me. I drove 5 minutes back, 5 minutes back. And then I drove 1 hour to another location, drove 1 hour back. And in the span of all that, from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., I left my house with one laptop and came back with the same laptop.
Yeah.
With everybody telling me that the other person could help me. Corporate saying the closest Best Buy could help me. That closest Best Buy telling me the farthest Best Buy could help me. The farthest Best Buy telling me corporate could help me. Me calling corporate and corporate saying, we can't do anything for you.
No.
Series of unfortunate events.
Absolutely.
Which started, what else? What else happened to me this week? I got garlic knot oil on my car.
Oh, yeah.
It took me 2.5 to 3 days to get it off. What else? A lot of things happened to me this week. I don't know. I'm having a streak of bad luck right now.
It took us 30 years to set this up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's my bad luck.
Yeah.
I feel like I always have bad luck. There's just always things that happen where it's just like...
But you see, it's like the type of bad luck where it's not egregious to where you get harmed or like something crazy happens. It's just enough
annoying.
To where you're annoyed.
It's just annoying.
Yeah.
Because it's like, for example, getting oil on a car seat. That doesn't want to come out.
And then before I spilled syrup on your car seat.
Yeah, so back in, what year did you move?
I moved away from Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
In 2022.
Oh, I thought it was 2021. So it's 2022. So in 2022, Chanel moved away from Texas, and I helped her move out, where we spent the entire day.
You see, that is my poor planning skills. I thought I could get it all done.
Type 2 fun.
Type 2 fun.
Type 2 fun. To think it was me, you for a bit, and then Marquise showed up.
Yeah.
It was the three of us. No, wait. Because Eva and Kyra were there in the morning.
Yes. But they just came for lunch.
They came for lunch. It was like a goodbye lunch.
Yes. And then you stayed.
I stayed.
And then I was like...
Well, because you were staying at my house.
Oh,
remember
yeah,
you were
yeah,
spending
for
the
that
night
one night, yeah.
because I was taking you to the airport the next day. So
Yep.
I was there because at that time I was supposed to take you home or take you to my home.
Yep. And
you
I was
still
like,
weren't.
I'm not done.
Anyway, so we spent all day. Like I was there starting in the morning, and then like I left and did some stuff when I came back. I don't think we got to my place till like 2, 3 in the morning. And you were giving me everything that you had. Like I was taking everything that you had.
Like, you want this? You want
yeah.
this? You
and
want
I
this?
said, I just said yes to everything.
It's all quality. It's
right.
all good quality stuff. And I'm like, I just will have to throw it away.
Exactly. So I said yes to all of it, but it was all in my car. And there was like space for you in the front seat. And I was like, I will deal with this later.
Yeah.
So we kept all of it in the back. I drove you to the airport. I dropped you off. You flew out. And you got back to California. And after all of that, I was like, I think I'm ready to like unpack the car.
Yeah.
So as I'm going through the stuff, I touched something sticky. And I'm like, what is this? And then lo and behold, one of the things that you put into my car, because we tried to take all the perishables out. That was one thing that we did take. Anything that was food related, that left my car. So we thought we took everything food related out of my car.
Yep.
But when I got there, I touched something sticky. I removed all the stuff, and there was your pure maple syrup that not only was perishable that was still in my car, somehow with all the extra pressure, it popped open.
Yep.
And spilled all over my car seat.
Yeah. And how long was that stain there?
Well, let's just say the reason why the stain was there for a long time was because it was the Houston summer heat, because you moved out around summer. It baked it. And it was there from 2022 up until 2 days ago.
And for reference, it's 2025.
Yeah. Because I will say this, though. I didn't really try to clean it. Because here's the thing. You offered to pay for me to get the seat cleaned. Because you were like, I feel so bad. Like, it's my syrup. And at that point, I was like,
don't worry about it, sweetheart.
I literally was like, it's just as much my fault as it is your fault, because we both packed the car.
Yeah.
It's just, we were both tired. I was like, you don't have to. I was like, I appreciate the offer. If I get around to it, cool. If I don't, I don't. And then at that point, I can't remember if this was before or after, but somebody had already put spilled chocolate ice cream all over that seat. And I was like, it is what it is. The seat's going to be ruined. Like, as long as people can sit there, they can sit there. And it just got kind of absorbed into the seat, and it became a part of the car.
Yep.
And I was chill with it until I got this garlic knot stain on the car, where I was trying everything. I Googled, right? I was like, Google, how do I get garlic knot stain out of my car? And I'm grateful that a lot of people have the same issue, because garlic knots, I don't know why, they always feel the need to like take bread and then just drip. I feel like they don't even like shake it in there. I feel like they put the bread in the pan and then they pour the oil onto it, and then they still use boxes. We are at the stage, give me aluminum.
Yeah.
Aluminum will hold that.
A little crinkle.
Yes.
We need that.
But no, it's a box. And I'm looking at you, Papa John's.
Oh, called out by name.
Yes, because Papa John's is the reason. So anyway, it got onto my seat. I'm freaking out, mainly because I'm like, I personally did not care if there was a stain on the seat. It is what it is. Like, if there's a stain, there's a stain. There's not much that I can do. But the reason why it bothered me is because it was so potent that if I touched it, the grease came off from the stain onto my hand.
Yeah.
And it was like, nobody would be able to sit in the seat until this is gone.
Yeah.
So I went to Google and I was like, Google, how do I get rid of this? Google's like, you could use a vinegar solution where it's like 1 part vinegar, 1 part water, and then you can put Dawn soap. I do that. I spray it on. I'm like, cool. It worked, because when a seat is wet, everything looks the same color. Everything looks clean because it's wet. It dried. Stain was there and prominent.
Oh, God.
I went to step number 2. It said baking soda. So I made a baking soda paste. I used all of my baking soda.
Dang.
Made a paste, put it on there, let it sit for 20 minutes. Wiped it down with the wet cloth. It looked clean to me. Left. Next day came back. It's still there. Yeah. Now I'm freaking out. Because not only is the stain not leaving, I'm like, part of me is like, it's okay if I can visibly see the stain. But if I touch it.
And it comes up. Then
that's the problem. But if I touch it and it's not, then we're cool. Every time I would touch it, not only would it come up and I have oil, it would smell like garlic. It didn't smell bad yet, but you know how smells get bad. So I was really concerned that was going to happen. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? This is right before you come. I'm like, I'm not going to be an Uber driver. Imagine our hour to hour and 15 drive home today from the airport.
With me in the back.
Yeah.
Chauffeur, drive faster.
No. No. So what was it? I was out to dinner with my brother and some of his friends, and I was explaining the situation to them. And one of his friends was like, have you tried Folex? And I'm like, what is that? And it's a carpet cleaner, but it's also an upholstery cleaner. And it's a product that is like 50 years old. Like they've been in business for 50 years and they're notorious for getting out stains. So like, let me give this a shot. So they're like, always test it, make sure like you should test it on whatever. Nobody's got time for that.
Yeah.
I completely understand you need to, because if there's discoloration, but they're like, spray it on, give it some agitation, blot it, and then wait for it to dry. Like, no. The longer that I wait for this to dry, the longer that the stain that I'm trying to clean is there. So I was like, you know what? Let me just try it on a seat that I don't care about.
Yep.
The seat in the back that's been covered in syrup since 2022. It's not like it can get worse.
Yeah.
So I go ahead and I spray it. And when I tell you, Chanel, I'm blotting, and I'm like, so much syrup is coming off of it. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm sitting here being like, it's crazy that in 3 years, I never thought to try this. I literally was going to be perfectly okay with it being there.
You just accepted it.
Yeah. And you want to know what's so funny? I actually had people who came and like would clean my car, and they'd be like, we're more than happy to clean your seats, but we don't think we can get that stain out.
Bro.
Right? Folex cleaned it up. You saw the stain. It's practically gone. It's like, there's some areas where it's still there, but I didn't try.
Yeah.
Right? So I just did like a little once ago, and it's gone. But mind you, the garlic stain, it's gone, but I can still see the outline of it, if that makes sense. It's still quite there. And I'm like, I did the vinegar solution, I did baking soda, and I think I did at least 4 to 5 Folex treatments.
Dang.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about garlic, not oil. It just was like, I want to stay.
Sticking to the seats.
Yeah.
Them oil stains, girl.
But anyway, that's my series of unfortunate events. I don't know what's going on with me. I don't know what I'm in. Do you consider it clumsy? Am I just clumsy? Is that the word that you would use instead of a series of unfortunate events?
But you see, like the laptop thing, that's not clumsy. That's just like unlucky.
So I'm just unlucky.
I think you're just unlucky.
That sucks.
Your luck meter is a little bit lower than the
I
average
know.
person.
How do I fix that?
I don't know. But you don't want that luck to get any worse.
See, and I sometimes wonder if I just piss somebody off.
Yeah.
And they just put
god. One of the gods.
Or someone who has it tight with the gods. And it's just like, I don't like that girl.
This one? Yeah, she's done.
I like to think that I'm a decent person.
Hey, life's not fair, huh?
Hey, I guess not. Or maybe I just need to make sure I surround myself with lucky people.
Yeah.
So that it's like, even if I'm unlucky, it outweighs. It's like, we'll just be neutral.
Yeah, cancel it out.
Yeah. Because like when I'm with you, I get free stuff.
It's true.
So you're just so lucky that my unluckiness doesn't do anything.
Yeah, for the most part.
For the most part.
Except when we're working on the podcast. We normally have unlucky streaks there.
Yeah.
But
by the time we do get it working, the podcasts end up doing pretty well.
Pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, yeah, I think luck meter, this is average person.
Mm-hmm.
You're not far below.
Okay.
But you're like
I'll take it.
A step.
As long as I'm not too far below.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. To add to some of my unluckiness, I've been having a lot of issues with people talking to me at work that I don't want to talk to. It's true.
Oh no.
Did I tell you the story about so I try to go and be active at the events at my job. We have a lot of employee networks, and the most recent employee network I went was to celebrate Asian American, it's AAPI, Pacific Islander and Hawaiian month, right? Mm-hmm. And it was in collaboration with the Asian employee network as well as the Filipino employee network at work. And so they had a really great event. They had a lot of booths from different people at. Ooh.
What?
Oh, have I said that I worked at that company? It doesn't matter.
Probably.
We'll bleep it. That would actually.
LinkedIn's a thing.
Oh, that's true.
If they really cared.
Anyway, so at the company where they based off the country that they originated from, they had a booth where they had food and they had like an opportunity for you to talk about your culture, and then they had video presentation about Corky Lee, who is a very influential Asian American filmographer and photographer, and kind of going on and giving his background story. I thought it was really, really nice, and I thought it was a great opportunity to, you know, see a little bit more about cultures outside of my own and celebrate them. So I'm at a table with people that I actually know, people that I talk to, and we're sitting there having a good time. And from my peripherals, I see this black man get closer, and he sits down like, so this is me, right? Right across from me is a friend, and then right next to me is another friend.
Yep.
From the friend across from me, there's a seat next to him, and then, which is empty. And the guy that I know is in the seat there. So there's an empty seat between the person I know and him. So I can see him from my peripherals. I met this guy over a year ago at a Juneteenth event for the Black Employee Network. So almost a year ago today, right? And I went with somebody that I know from work who like I hang out with. We went to the event together, and she saw a friend of hers who was with this black man, right? So she's talking to this guy. So I ended up having to talk to this black man. And so he's asking more about me, asking about my background. I tell him I'm a chemical engineer. I have my PhD, and I'm working in a rotational program at my job. And so I'm in my first rotation, but I'm going to probably by the end of the year move into my next rotation. He then goes, oh, well, you know, I could have been a chemical engineer. I started my degree in chemical engineering. And I can't remember if he could have been, or he said he is a chemical engineer. I can't remember. But he was talking about how we were related, right? And he was going on about how it's like, yeah, he's going to try to get his master's, but he believes he could get a PhD and he could get the position that I'm in. But mind you, he is a contract employee. So at the time he was a contractor. So he wasn't a full-time employee, but he was hired on to do some work with the team that like the person that my friend was talking to was on. So he had just started the job. And he was telling me about how he made this recent career choice from going away from his full-time position to come to because he was like, has better opportunities, but he wasn't a full-time employee.
So,
but then he was telling me that he was going to be able to become a full-time employee. He was going to be able to get a master's, and then he could also easily get a PhD, and then he's going to be able to get my job. And this is the conversation. I've never met him before. Never met him before. And this is all the stuff that he's saying to my face. And this is one of the things that I feel like has happened to me a decent amount of times, is where I don't brag about the things that I've gotten in life. If you ask me, I'm going to tell you, but I'm not going to go and be like, yeah, I'm a doctorate, da 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 da. There's no need for it.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I talk to people about the accomplishments that I make, it feels as though they feel threatened by it. Because why is it when you're asking me the type of job that I have and how I got the job that I had, and I'm explaining to you that I had to get a PhD to get the job that I have, you're telling me that you're capable of doing that too, even though you don't even have your master's yet. Yeah. And it's not even like I'm saying you're incapable. It's just time.
Yeah.
Like I literally just, at the point, I literally just graduated.
Yeah. 5 years.
I literally just graduated from all this school, and you're telling me that you can just easily get it. They don't just hand you PhDs. You have to do some work.
They surely don't.
You have to do some work. So I'm just looking at him, and he's going on, and I'm looking at my friend trying to get out of the situation.
You're giving them the eyes. Help me.
And she's not looking at me.
Help me.
She's not, and he keeps going and going and going. Please tell me why. He's like, so hey, do you think we could like meet up and talk, and like, can I get your number?
No.
I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't like to give out my personal number to coworkers. So, right? So this is what I think is the last time I'm going to see him, right? We crossed paths a couple of times, or like we walked together from the cafeteria, and he's yapping in my ear, and I'm just trying to get away. So anyway, now fast forward to the Asian Employee Network / Filipino Employee Network at my job. He's sitting down in the, like, there's a seat between my group and him. So I'm talking. I'm paying attention to him from my peripherals, but I'm trying not to look at him. And so as we're having a conversation, me and my friends were kiki-king, having a grand old time. And I see him pick himself up and sit at the chair. So now there's no space between him and my group. But I'm still not acknowledging him. But I can see him looking at me.
Oh my God.
Like I see his eyes on me. He's looking at me. He's staring at me. And I'm like, I'm not going to look at you. I'm not going to look at you. So we're talking. Please tell me why he leans forward, sticks his hand out, taps the table in front of me, and goes, hey, sorry to interrupt, but I think I know you, right? So in this moment, I'm thinking, what do I do? What do I say? Because I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
So I go, I'm thinking. He goes, and this is where I'm like, when you think you know everything and it bites you in the butt, he goes, your name's Pearl, right? Pearl.
That's not even close to your name.
But he, at the same time, do I look like a Pearl?
No.
What Pearl have you ever met? Like, I'm so sorry if your name is Pearl. That's a very unique name to have.
Shouts out to you.
Right, in this century. In this century, your parents really wanted to be unique because Pearl.
That does sound like an old white lady.
You look at me and you call me Pearl.
Pearl.
And then my friend, so the guy he's sitting right next to you, literally puts his hand up like this and starts looking at me, laughing his butt off. He's like, oh my God, did he call you Pearl? The girl next to me is just like, huh? She's also laughing. And I look him in the eyes and I go, no, I don't know you. And my name's not Pearl. And he goes, am I close? I'm like, no, not even close. You don't even need
to know it, so.
Well, I was like, name's Syndi. And then I just kind of turned around and ignored him. Like, I gaslit him. I don't want to talk to you. And so what's so funny is I tricked everybody because everyone's like, why would he just come up to you like that? I have
no idea. He's such a weirdo.
And literally we were talking to like, because I was complaining about how people at my job think I look like other people.
Yeah.
And they're just like, it's just so surprising that everybody keeps coming up to you and thinking that I'm just like, I don't want to talk to this man. I will never speak to this man. Because why would I like you, sir? And I feel like that's the thing. Like, that doesn't happen to me often, but it's like the assumption that because somebody is respectful enough to speak to you, that they actually like you. And it's like, this is my job.
Yeah.
If I told you to fuck off,
I'm going to be the one in trouble.
I'm going to be in trouble. So now I have to be cordial. But you're out here yapping, telling me that you're capable enough to take my job. When you don't have my degree, you're not even a full-time employee, but you're going to take my job. Okay.
No.
And they're going to come up to me in the middle of a place. Sorry to interrupt.
Don't I know you,
Pearl? Get out of my face.
Get out of
my face.
Run quickly.
You know you only got 30 minutes.
Yeah.
30
seconds. Oh. Get out of my face.
Oh my goodness. My fuse for stuff like that, I honestly think my fuse for men is very, very tiny. Very, very small. Because I feel as though I could have the same interaction with a woman and I still would have been like, no, we have met, but my name is Syndi, but I'm with my friends.
That's because of the implication.
The implication, what do you mean?
The implication. We live in a heterosexual society that was built by men.
Yeah.
For men.
Yeah.
And so there's always that implication. When you're dealing with men, you're looking at them and you have to do like 17 equations in your head. And you have to be like, okay, he's sending out this signal.
Yeah.
That signal could just be that signal, or he's into me. And if he's into me, we got a problem because I don't want him anywhere near me, even thinking of me in any type of way ever. Get away from me. And so it adds that implication. That's why the fuse gets lower, because you're like,
so
that's
tiny.
You protecting yourself.
I mean, I think I was just already annoyed because because the thing is, we've had this conversation many a times with my relationship with people. If you were nice, if he was just nice, just from the jump,
and not sending any signals,
but even still, I'm nice. I'm not the type of person to gaslight.
Girl boss.
Gatekeep.
Yes.
But I'm typically not, right? Because I literally, now every person that I was around thinks he's crazy.
Good. I support women's wrongs.
And women's rights. But yeah, so I set the precedent. I'm typically not that type of person, but it's just because the first conversation we had was so bad.
Awkward.
And then every conversation afterwards has been about the same.
Yeah.
Where it's like, my thing is like, are you trying to ask me how I got my job? Because if that's the case,
he's trying to tell you that everything you did was easy and he could do it too.
Which is like, sure, then part of me is like, go do it then.
Do it.
Like, quit telling me that you can do it. Just do it.
Go ahead and spend those 5 years.
I think that's my frustration with a lot of things as well. It's like, you can go ahead and minimize things all you want, but until you actually do it, I'm not going to take what you're saying as any sort of value, right? Now, if like, for example, if somebody else who got a PhD is telling me that, oh, your research was, even if they tell me your research was
like,
easy,
why do you care?
But the thing is, you didn't even do it either. So it's just, quit comparing yourself to people.
Anybody who's comparing themselves to someone in like that way where it's like, I could do that type of vibe, or like trying to less than someone else, belittle someone else, they're insecure.
Well, like why waste your energy? It doesn't do you any good.
It's because they're trying to soothe themselves.
But don't bring me into it. Soothe yourselves. There's so many ways.
Unhealed people. Unhealed.
You know what? Actually, I feel like I attract unhealed people.
You do. Because
we talked about this last time. We can move on. But there's been so many times. I've told you a couple instances where like some crazy people have.
Crazy people.
I told you about the girl who literally like was like licking a fork as I was feeding her and moaning. Did I tell you that?
If you did, I blocked it
out. When I was in high school, so my mom decided to put a lot of money into me going into SAT prep classes to ensure that I got into college, which thank you, Mom, but I still ended up going to a state school. In the end, I got a PhD, so it doesn't matter, but like we put in all this effort for me to get into a school that I could have gotten into with my GPA, right? So because she put at the time, like you go and you do college preparatory stuff around like 16, 17, that's also the same time you get your driver's license. Yep. So my mom was like, I'd rather put money towards you doing well and getting into college than giving you a car, right? So I don't think I was even able to get my license. It wasn't even an option for me at that time. So I had a college preparatory class that started at like 5:30, and my mom and dad got off at 5, and they worked like 45 minutes from home. So it's like impossible to get me to and from. Like my mom would have to leave work early. My dad would have to leave work early. I have 2 brothers, so they'd have to figure it all out. And she's like, this is just too difficult to try to manage. So I made a friend of sorts in the class who ended up being about a 10 to 15 minute drive from my house. And like my mom caught her and I speaking to each other at the end of class. And my mom introduced herself, got introduced, and the girl was just like, hey, Syndi was telling me that you're struggling getting like her to and from the classes. Like we found out that I only live 10 minutes away. It's in the opposite direction, but I'm more than happy to pick her up. She's a friend of mine, so I would hate for her not to be in class. And my mom was like, that's amazing. Like I can pay for gas, all that stuff, all that jazz. So I thought, okay, cool. So the first time she picked me up, she goes, have you ever had an eclair before? And at the time I hadn't. I was like, nope, never had an eclair. And she's like, well, Safeway, and it's Randall's for some people. I think it's Safeway here and Randall's in like.
Yeah.
So she was like, let's go to Safeway / Randall's and we can get eclairs. They have eclairs. It's going to be great. So we bought 2 eclairs. Honestly, I can't even remember if she bought it. I think she had to buy it because I don't know if I had my own credit card at that time. So she bought the eclairs and got 2 forks. And so we're driving to class. And she's driving. She's like, hey, these eclairs are better. She told me the eclairs are better cold or something like that.
Okay.
And so she's like, do you mind if you like feed me a bite? And I'm like, feed you a bite as you're driving? She goes, yeah. Just like grab the fork, take some and like just feed it to me. And I'm like, cool. So I go ahead, I open hers, I like take a piece. I'm like, is this piece too big? She like kind of looks over as she's driving. She's like, yo, no, that's perfect. So I take it, I put it in her mouth and she goes, and then she starts licking the fork.
Not licking the fork.
That's
too much.
I got so uncomfortable.
It
made me feel so incredibly uncomfortable. And then she was like, can you give me another, please? And like she did it in like a little soft.
Your body was sensing
and
the
I was
implication.
I was like, okay. So I got another piece and I stabbed her in the mouth with the fork.
Dang. You were scared for your life.
I was 16. I didn't know what to do. I'm trapped in a car and she's driving that car.
Yeah.
I can't get out. We're on the freeway. I didn't know what to do. So I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. It's just like, we're driving in the car, She's like, oh no, it's fine. Like, you don't have to feed me anymore. Right? After that, I tried to tell my mom that I did not want to see her anymore. Right? Yeah. And my mom was like, no, you need to go to that class. She's willing to drive you. And I didn't know how to explain to my mother
what was wrong because you're a child.
Yeah. So I had to keep going with her. She had to keep picking me up. She kept dropping me off. And I remember I had a conversation because at the time, the only person that I trusted enough to like tell this information to was my English teacher. And I remember going and explaining to her the situation and how it made me feel. And she was like, well, obviously you feel uncomfortable because she's hitting on you.
Yeah.
She's like attracted to you, potentially sexually attracted to you.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why you feel uncomfortable, because you're not attracted to her at all.
The
and
implication.
I'm like, what do I do in that situation? And they're like, well, you need to go to the college preparatory class. So unless you explain to your parents the situation, you have to keep going.
And your parents, we won't get into that.
Well, the thing is, I didn't know. I mean, I question to this day if I explained to my parents the way that she made me feel and what she did, what they would have done, because I just didn't know how to verbalize that.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, I had the validation from another adult that this was something that was wrong, and that, at least in the sense of like, she's doing something that's making you feel uncomfortable, and she's weaponizing the fact that she is your only way of getting to and from places, so you can't do anything about it. So essentially, I'm trapped in a situation that I can't get out of.
Yep.
Because she's using the fact that she gets to pick me up and drop me off. She has my phone number. She knows where I live. I can't get away. So at that point, I need to appease her in some sense, or she's going to stop doing all that stuff.
You see, this is part of the origin for the gun.
Oh God, it was so bad. And it got progressively worse because she started calling and texting me incessantly.
Oh my God.
I would have to turn off my phone.
How old was this person?
She was 19.
You're being groomed.
Was it? Is it really? Dang. Are you sure? The silent
You were
nod.
like 16?
Yeah. And she had to be like, she was older. She was older, but maybe when
she was out of high school, right?
No, she was
Senior?
taking college. Yeah, she was a super senior.
Oh, super
So
senior.
second year of her senior year.
She was grooming you. That's an adult woman. You were groomed!
Anyway. But yeah, it got progressively worse, where I don't even know the type of person that I was to even think of this. I would make random plans. I spent so much time that summer at my aunt's house because it wasn't at my home, because she would tell me that she would be outside of my house.
Girl!
She would be outside of my house.
Syndi, when you get your therapist, let's start there, okay? Let's start
She'd
there.
be outside of my house, so I would tell my mom I wanted to go hang out with my aunt. My aunt would be working. I literally be just lying on the floor.
And you're like, thank you, aunt. Please,
yeah.
thank you.
And so she would call me incessantly that I would turn off my phone, leave my phone on the floor, and just walk away.
Yeah.
And disappear for hours. And I'd come back to like, I think the one time I opened my phone, it was 56 unread text messages and like 20-something missed calls. And then I had like 3 or 4 voicemails where she got progressively meaner as it went on.
She's crazy.
Yeah. I somehow attract, because this is not the first time this has happened to me. This has happened to me at least 2 to 3 times in my life, where someone has gotten so incredibly attached to me that it turns from seemingly nice to I'm scared.
Yeah.
And that was the first time that it happened when I was 16. And yeah, I remember she would be like, you're lying to me. Your phone's not dead. Your phone's not dead. All of a sudden I'm calling you and then it's ringing and then it's going straight to voicemail. It's not dead. It's not dead. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. It was dead. I just got all your messages and your text messages right now. So
that's terrifying.
But you want to know something? Me doing that pissed her off so much that she told my mom she can't take me to class anymore.
Which was what you needed.
Yeah, my mom was like, I don't know what happened. Like, did she say what happened? I was just like, no.
Girl, I tried to tell you what happened. And at this point,
I told her I don't know what happened. My mom was like,
Yeah.
does she still show up to class? She stopped coming to class regularly. After that, she stopped coming to class.
She was only going for you.
I don't know. But you want to know what's actually the scarier part about it too? We ran into it. She went to ASU. She went to my undergrad. And she was dating some guy. And we ran into each other. And she looked at me and immediately looked away. And like, which was great. But I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, she can't be the one mad at me. She can't be mad at me with everything that she did.
You know, she is.
I'm surprised I never told you that story.
I feel like you mentioned it.
I probably like,
but I don't think you went into the whole detail. I feel like you just told me a bit.
I'm telling you, there's another girl that I knew from undergrad who literally every other time I would meet with her, she had like an abusive boyfriend that was beating her up and that I was her only saving grace. And I'm like, that's not
how this is gonna work.
But yeah, I'm like, please don't make me that safe space. Like, I don't have the capacity to be your safe space. You need to, I would tell her so many different times, you need to find a professional that can be your safe space. I'm like, I am 18, 19. I don't have the capacity to be your safe space. And she goes, no, Syndi, like, you're so understanding. All I do is I just sit and I listen. Is that being understanding?
To them,
I guess. So yeah, many different times in my life. So maybe I just seemingly, I feel like, what is it? There's always a saying, it's like the energy you put out is what attracts people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't understand what energy I'm putting out.
You see, and this is what I always find so fascinating about psychology in general, whatever I understand by psychology. It's like the predators in this world, they sniff it out. They sniff it out.
Yeah.
And they find the person that they know will at least, like, I think this person will let me do this to them. And then they just keep doing this, keep poking you, and see how far they can push you.
Yeah.
And yeah, even if you got a hint of that on you.
Yes. It worked at least 3 times.
Yeah. Because for me,
it's never happened to you.
It don't happen for me because they sense the energy.
I don't know how to change my energy.
Therapy.
Dang.
Therapy. Because I don't know. I think it's because, there's like different attachment styles and stuff like that, which is from, all the things that happen in your childhood, and then like even stuff that's like not a big deal becomes a big deal and all that stuff. Like, did your parents let you cry alone? Some people are like, if a baby's crying, just leave them alone. It's good for your vocal cords or whatever. But that can help you develop certain things.
Right.
But yeah, so there's different attachment styles. There's securely attached, which is like you're good.
Right.
Normal.
Yeah.
You're good. And then there's anxiously attached, which is like, love me. Why would you love me? Love me. Please love me. And then there's, what's the other one?
I'm trying to think of the other one as well.
Because it's the opposite of anxious. It's
avoidance.
Like avoidant.
Attachment.
Avoidant, which you're like, inside you're like, love me. But on the outside you're like, get away from me.
Yeah, I'm more of that one.
Really? Wow. That makes sense though. Because the girl, that's very anxious to be like, why didn't you text me back? You don't love me.
And I'm like, inside I'm freaking out, but my solution is to...
Yeah, ignore.
Yeah.
Ignore and be like, I don't know what you're talking
about.
Yeah, the phone was off.
This is not a problem to me.
I saw your text messages today. I didn't see them.
No, I actually would keep my phone off overnight. I would have to do that.
You shouldn't have to do that. That sucks.
My parents would be like, we tried calling you and you didn't pick up. And I'd be like, my phone's dead.
I don't know what to tell you, parents. My phone was off.
I actually remember though...
Oh God.
There was one time that before I would shut it off, and my aunt actually came by, and it was on the floor, and my phone was just like bzz, bzz, bzz.
She's like, dang, you're popular.
Yeah, she's like, are you gonna pick that up? I'm like, no. Bzz, bzz,
Don't
bzz.
ask questions on it.
She's like, are you sure? Yeah, it's fine. Bzz, bzz, bzz. And after that, I just turned it off. I'm like, if people are gonna start asking questions, I need to turn that off.
All the adults in your life, ball drop on that one. Well, you're dying on the inside.
I'm literally internally panicking because I don't. Also, my English teacher at the time didn't help either because she just laughed at me.
Yeah, because I'm like, the teacher, she validated it, but I'm like, she should have talked to your parents and been like, hey.
She literally laughed at me. She's like, how'd you end up in a situation like that?
It's probably because she was like, oh, it's another high school student, so it's fine or something like that.
Well, the student didn't go to the school. She didn't know who the student was. I just said that she was a little bit older.
Yeah. So she probably thought, a 17-year-old, ha 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 ha. She dropped the ball. But yeah, so that's fun. I think I'm more securely attached.
I would say that, yeah.
But I do have a little bit of the
avoidant. Yeah.
Because I don't have time for it.
That's fair. But I feel like but it's not avoidant attachment in the sense like on the inside, unless you are the inside yeah. I feel like you're just like, I don't want to deal with it. Yeah.
Okay, I'll just ignore them. No, I'm just like, girl.
Yeah.
you don't get away from me.
Right.
You're doing too much.
Mm-hmm. You want to know something that's so funny though? Like, I'm pretty sure that I have avoidant attachment, but I feel like a lot of people, depending on how long I spend time with them, they will try to, like, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Where ultimately they're just like, oh, I know this is you, and then it's wrong. Because people have told me before that I give anxious attachment. They're like, oh, you're definitely an anxious attachment. I'm like, what about me gives anxious attachment?
You see, I'm trying to think. Because when you said avoidant, I was surprised, but then I thought about it for 2 seconds and I'm like, yeah, that's it.
So what about me gives...
I think it's because normally, at least in my configuration, avoidant, I feel like they're more like in the zeitgeist, like standoffish, and they're more like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like they hide it more. You are more personable and like you'll lock in with someone and you'll be there with them. But if you need to not be there with them, you'll still be nice.
Yeah.
But you'll slowly...
But the thing is as well, the personality is also a front. Because I feel as though if I'm very,
That's how
very
you protect
bubbly...
yourself.
Yeah. You don't ask extra questions because you think Cindy's so bubbly, da-da-da-da-da.
Yes.
But in the back of my mind...
You're doing this. Yeah,
exactly.
And you're running away. So I think that's probably it for why people don't really think it. But no, if you think about it for 2 seconds, you're normally trying to run away from people.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Which is so funny. I'll be listening to conversations with people and they're like, oh yeah, Cindy, you definitely da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, I would not do that. But I'm going to just let you keep thinking that because why am I going to get into a conversation or argument with you about what's right and what's wrong?
They got that gun on you.
No, it's because I don't have the time. Like, why do I need to explain to you why you're wrong about the type of person that I am?
It's true.
Keep thinking what you want. You can be wrong, and then when the situation comes back around, you're like, oh, you would definitely do that. I'd be like, what? No. Why would I do that? And they're like, oh, da-da-da. I'm like, yeah, that has no basis. Yeah, that has no basis. I never said that. You said that for me.
Yeah.
I just never told you you were wrong.
And I'm just going to go along with it. Girl. Yeah, that's insane.
What?
That lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have trauma.
Don't we all?
That's crazy.
No, the fact that you're saying I was groomed is weird. I don't like it.
It is though.
I don't like
that is grooming. That is grooming.
It didn't.
She was an older person, an adult.
It didn't feel like it though.
Using leverage, to get you alone.
True.
And doing weird stuff to try to test the waters and see what she could do. Yeah, that's grooming. It's just normally you think of it as like some pedophile who's like 65 trying to prey on like, but no. Younger people can be predators too.
Weird.
Ick.
Also, it's weird that this episode turned into a grooming episode.
It's a circle of life. I don't know.
So how do we transition out of this topic? Because we need to
wrap it up.
Yeah, we need to move on to something different. Speaking of grooming, I got my cat groomed the other I don't know. Give me something. Tell me something. My dog needs
a grooming, all right.
Pumpkin?
Yeah.
Pumpkin spice latte?
He's been sick.
Sick?
He's been sick.
Like, achoo sick?
I don't know what's wrong with him. We still need to take him to the vet, but you know Pumpkin. His energy.
Has his energy not come back?
He's been sleeping. He's been low energy. Like, when I normally, hi, Pumpkin. Like, immediately.
Yeah.
And now he's like, hi.
Do you think he's sad?
I don't think he's sad. I think he's sick.
Oh, dang.
But, I don't know. He was throwing up as well.
Do you think he ate something from all the construction?
Maybe.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking. That's my first thing. Because, like, construction people, oh my God.
Because there was before I was on the phone with you and he was trying to eat cement.
Yeah, he stepped in some cement. Because why would our construction workers leave an open hole with wet cement in it when they know we have dogs? This is month 5 of the renovation.
How many months do you have left?
God knows. I'm guessing it's probably gonna be another 3 months.
Oh, wow.
At least. Our house, half of our house is still thrashed.
Crazy.
Like, you can't even do anything in those parts, right? So at least.
Are you guys able to watch TV?
We have a TV in my parents' room.
Okay.
And then in the spare room, we have a TV.
Okay. But like downstairs TV, nobody can use.
No. It's all packed up. Like there's a bunch of like all the furniture and everything is in a corner with the TV and the whole nine.
Okay.
And then the rest, there's no house. So no kitchen. Yay. Yeah. And so he stepped in an open thing of cement. Yeah. That was still wet. We just left that open. Cool. Mm-hmm. And so I washed his paw, but he really be chewing on his paw. He be sucking on his paw. I don't know why he does it. I don't understand. Yeah. But he really be chewing and sucking on his paws. Mm-hmm. And so we're thinking maybe the concrete, maybe there was some left over because I washed it in the backyard. Yeah, that could mean it could be hardened in his stomach, right? Yeah, I don't think he got that much, but... Yeah. You never know. It could have just made him sick. Poor pumpkin. Another thing, he was at the play place a lot. And so it could be the interaction with other dogs. Maybe he got sick that way. And then they were saying at the play place he was throwing up leaves. So he could just be eating random stuff. Pumpkin. You know what I mean? So I don't know what's going on with him. But lowest energy, like he just sleeps. And we're like, hi, pumpkin. He still wags his tail a little bit. We're like, okay, you okay, baby? So, okay. Well, keep me posted. Chill. Pumpkin. We'll see. We need a little bit of energy back. He scares me a little bit. Well, when he has full of energy, I run. He's ready to jump on you. I run. He could jump over you. Yes. Actually, my favorite pumpkin story. Oh my God. Is the first. Pumpkin. You were gonna drive. So, the first time I went to your house, it was after like we went to go look for a place for me to live here. We picked this place, and you're like, "Let's go to Disney and celebrate that you graduated with your PhD," right? So I'm staying at your house, and doing whatever, and I think you're taking me to the airport for me to fly out, right? Mm-hmm. So you're upstairs getting ready. Your mom's upstairs, and your dog is like pacing back and forth, right? He's nudging me. I'm like, Pumpkin, like. Relax, Pumpkin, relax. He's pacing around. I'm like, they're coming, Pumpkin, like, relax, whatever. And I'm just like, this dog will not get out of my business. And I'm just like, I don't understand why. And so, like, I'm still waiting for you to come down and all that stuff, right? And so I'm just like chilling with all of my stuff. And for some reason, I look over. And I look, and me and Pumpkin, we lock eyes. And the next thing I hear is, psst, and he's peeing on the floor. And I'm like, what do I do? I'm just watching him pee. And he's peeing. He finishes and he walks away. I proceed to call you immediately. And you don't pick up the call because you're probably just like, why is she calling me? Like, I'm upstairs. And I text you, your dog just peed on the floor. And so you're like, what? And you come all the way down and there's a puddle on the floor. And you're like, Pumpkin, why would you? And it's like, is the door closed? I'm like, the door to the backyard? I'm like, yeah, the door's closed. Why? And she's like, you were like, he had to go to the bathroom. He had to go. He couldn't go outside. And he was like, so the entire time he was nudging me, being like, can you please? He said, please, I gotta go. Please open. And he was like, Courage the Cowardly Dog. Help with them. And you said, I have no idea what this dog is saying. I'm like, leave me alone. Back up. His bladder is so full. And what's even funnier too was that you call your mom and be like, the dog peed on the floor. And your mom came down so fast. Why would you do that? Right. And then when you were like, Mom, the door was closed, you're like, oh, poor Pumpkin, you didn't have any other choice. Yeah. Your mom switched up so fast. And I'm sitting there just looking, being like, I'm so sorry. I don't know. I didn't want to touch stuff because I'm pretty sure your mom was like, you could have opened the door. And I'm like, Mom, you should have opened the door. What the heck? This is my first time meeting your mom too. So I'm out here being like, I'm sorry. So funny. But that Pumpkin is scary because he's all over you. Like, he jumps. But he's well trained though, because all you have to do is you have to run into the kitchen and he won't enter. Yeah, he won't go into the kitchen. Well, the non-existent kitchen now. Right. But before, it was just like you would just stand in the kitchen. He'd be there like come back out.
And I'm like, no. I would have to try, because you also have like the baby gate right from the stairs so he doesn't come up. So I'm just like, I'm trying to strategically think like, okay, I'm in the kitchen. If I try to run the other way, he's going to run around. How much time do I have to run and jump over the gate before he realizes that I juked him?
Oh my God.
There was one time I opened the front door to come back in, and he was standing in like, do you remember that little like walkway?
Yeah.
He would be standing and looking at me, and I'm looking at the barrier, and he's looking at me, and he starts. There was one time he started coming, and I just shut the door. I was outside.
He's a lot. He is a lot. I can't lie.
And he's big. Because if he gets up on this, he likes to jump. And I'm like, he's taller than me when he jumps.
But he knows, do not jump on me.
Yeah. He knows how to jump on you, but anybody else is fair game.
Yeah, especially when he's first meeting you. He's like... And my mom's the worst. She goes, she'll either... So like Pumpkin will just jump on her and she goes... Oh, he's so cute. He's so cute. I'm like, Mom, stop doing that. He's going to jump on everybody forever. Or she'll go, come here. And have him jump up. And she'll be sitting down in a chair. He just jumps up on her. She's like, but he's so cute.
He is cute, though. He's gives cute, like bumbling idiot cute.
Get off of me. Yeah. He's a little stupid.
There's something about him when they're just a little stupid.
Just a little stupid. Makes him cuter.
Yeah. My cat's a little stupid.
He is a little stupid.
Mm-hmm. He's asleep. And that's when he's really cute.
Yep.
When he's out like a light.
A little baby.
Yep. And then he's going to be a gremlin in a couple hours when he's about to get fed.
Oh, yeah. During the nighttime, that's where he comes alive.
But I mean, he's currently sleeping right now and it's nighttime, so.
I feel like it's because we're out here. He's like, I can't be a gremlin while you guys are watching.
Right, exactly. I can't jump onto your counters and lick all the things while you're awake.
Eat all the things.
Well, I can't keep anything out anymore because he likes to eat everything.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Gremlin.
We
have gremlins for pets.
We do. Our pets. And then I have a cat too.
You do?
Homegirl. So her sister ran away. Mm-hmm. I still don't know where she's at, but I think she's up there in heaven. Because we have a lot of coyotes in our neck of the wood. And so the remaining cat, she is so aggressive. But she's like, rub me, love me, pet me, do it now. And you're like, damn, relax. But every time I pet her, she'll go into it and then she does like somersaults. I don't know. She does somersaults. And you're like, and she'll do a somersault and then she'll get up and be like, okay, do it again. And do another somersault. I don't know. I really don't know.
Your pets are so interesting.
They're so interesting.
Yeah.
And then let me just mention for the podcast, because we did mention Latte in the previous season. Latte has passed away.
It's so sad.
She was literally 15 years old.
That's old for dogs.
She was old as hell. But that's my girl.
She is.
That's my girl. I want her back. Bring her back to me. But yeah, that's my girl.
Be careful what you say. Your mom might get another dog.
You see, we talked about this.
Really?
And I was like, I think Pumpkin needs another dog. Just because Latte did not need another dog.
But Pumpkin...
My mom made a mistake. And Latte was freaking, 13 years old, and 12 years old.
And got a puppy.
And she's like, if this hoe does not get away from me right now, like, get him away from me. Yeah. And so that was a mistake. But Pumpkin, when he's normal and not sick, he's like...
Full of energy.
And so I feel like he needs another dog.
Yeah.
But that's also...
Spice loading.
Yes. But I need her to... Because she normally gets puppies. Don't get a puppy.
You need to get like a...
Get a dog that's like around the same age.
3 years.
Yeah. Because
this is like an endless cycle then. If you keep getting puppies, it's going to be an endless cycle.
And there's going to be one just left alone.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. But Pumpkin will have to vibe.
Yeah. Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Yep. Winston is my one and done.
Yeah.
I'm not getting any more.
He's going to live for a long
time. And I don't want any more pets. Everyone's like, you're going to grow to love him. I'm like, I miss my freedom.
Going out of town, doing whatever you want.
Not having to worry about cleaning a litter box, not worrying to make sure he's fed. Like, people keep telling me I'm doing such a great job, but I feel like I forget half the time.
Hey, it'd be like that. He's still alive.
That's why I can't do humans. Because they start talking. Next thing you know, CPS is at my door.
Oh!
Being like, your child has said that you...
feed me last night.
I'm like, why didn't they remind me? They can speak. They can tell me they're hungry.
Well, she didn't remind me she was hungry. Syndi, you didn't feed her.
And she didn't say nothing.
Obviously, she wasn't hungry. She said she cried herself to sleep.
I did not hear anything.
I didn't hear peep. Maybe she should cry louder.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, this was a joke.
Were we joking? No, I'm kidding. Yeah. All I gotta say is I don't aspire to be a parent.
Yes. So likewise.
So this is never gonna be my future.
Never ever.
So
just
it's a
pets.
Yeah. And that's easier. He doesn't go places. So
gremlin. But yeah, wow, Syndi, we really do be yapping.
We do be yapping.
And that's on period.
And that's on per. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Is someone knocking on my door? Hello? Open the door. Open the door. I'm filming a podcast right now. Goodbye.
Bye.
You want to say hi to the podcast?
No, thank you.
Okay, bye.